A kneeling lunge is really a classic foundational stretch for our hip flexors and something that's the base of a lot of other varieties of chest stretches. For the kneeling lunge that we're working on today, it's going to be a passive stretch. Technically, we're going to have a teeny bit of hip engagement because we're keeping our hips square, but for the most part, this is a stretch that we can hold for a longer period of time as we're relaxing into the stretch. To come into our kneeling lunge, we're going to start from a kneeling position. Take a big step forwards with one leg, and I want to make sure my hip bones stay pointing forwards, tailbone tucked down to the ground as I sink my hips towards the floor. So this should be feeling like a stretch through the very front of that back leg hip. These are our hip flexor muscles. If you start to lean forwards with your chest, this is going to make it a little bit easier. It gives those muscles a break. So we're going to try to keep our chest as lifted as possible, making sure our shoulders are staying stacked on top of our hips. We can have our hands on our thigh for balance, or if your body proportions allow, you might have fingertips on blocks. If your hips are really low to the ground, hands might be on blocks from here. But things that I care about from a posture perspective is we've got that front knee right on top of the front ankle. It's not starting to lean all the way back into space. And our hip bones are staying pointing forwards and they're slightly lifted up, not rotated down towards the floor, not opening out to the side. So from this position, we're going to keep that tailbone tucked, hold the stretch in the front of that back leg for anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds or beyond. If you're someone who gets a little knee pain in this stretch, you don't want to push through that pain, there's a couple of modifications that you could do. Option number one is simply rolling your yoga mat a couple of times, giving that knee a little bit of squish between it and the floor so that it has a little bit of cushion. You can also put a pillow under that knee, wear knee pads, or roll up a towel if you're at a gym to give it a little bit more physical support. You can also take a yoga block, put it under the back leg shin so that the knee is lifted in space. This is a teeny bit more active. We have to engage our quads in this position so the knee doesn't flop down through the floor. Woo. So it's a bit more challenging, but might feel a little bit more comfy on that knee. Alternatively, you can tuck your toes, turn this exercise into a standing lunge, and I'll link to the video for that in the description.
If you want to learn more stretches like this, you should totally check out the Flexopedia on my website. It's a free online library of stretches with detailed how-tos for both passive stretches and active stretches organized by muscle group. You can access the Flexopedia by going to dannywinksflexibility.com/Flexopedia or simply click the link in this video description.